Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jibber podcast. It's Sunday evening, which means you know what that means. It means usually J-Mac's here, but today he's not. Yeah, he will be. He will be. I'm going to read just quickly a couple text messages from J-Mac, just so you know what's going on. But I'm really looking forward to this episode. So J-Mac saying, trying to update PC, piece of shite. Then he sends a couple of gifs. He goes on. Jump straight into 70% Grammy shagging PC. Granny shagging PC. That autocorrect really helped my mood. Unfortunately, my name's no Mamhood. Now that's updated and restarted, it has decided that update wasn't enough. Rang with you. Yeah, see you next Tuesday. You been in a fucking coma, son. This update is as slow as something swimming in honey. So J-Mac's having technical issues, and I just wish I wish there was a wee webcam showing us exactly what was going on. I bet he'll need a new keyboard, because I know what he's like. He goes actually mental when his gear's not working right. But by the way, someone whose gear is working right and he's gone to the effort tonight to really set up he's got a home studio already. You guys will remember him from the last episode we done on the last video store, which we've done quite a few times now, which is excellent. Just a reminder that his new LP comes out soon, which is available everywhere, by the way, on Spotify and all the good stuff. Oh no, I've spelt his name wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Boucher himself, no. Boucher. Mate, have I spelt your name wrong?
I just noticed it now.
Like, there's a H missing. I'm gonna update that while we speak. I'm gonna multitask. Oh my god. Do you know what it is, mate? See when I do all the prep for this show, I'm usually like doing weeks worth of prep at a time. So sometimes I get a slight, and it's usually like heavy at night time as well. So I'm usually at that point very much spent.
No stress.
There's no excuse for that. I
shouldn't have even said anything. I think it's funny.
No, I'm glad you have. Usually, if you don't, J-Mac goes and has a good wee laugh. So usually, J-Mac and I, usually I will come up with a format for the show, usually talking points and that kind of stuff. But tonight I actually wanted it to be just so fly on the wall. I actually wanted it to be like we'd met in a bar and we were just absolutely chalking it up, because that's the kind of conversation. Watch this. Look at your name down at the bottom. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Boom!
Boom! Did you see that shit? Right
on the fly. Beautiful.
I know. Crazy, right?
Love it.
So I was just basically, we're going to talk about the last video store, your new vinyl that's going to hit the shelves, how all the processes that is. I'd love to talk to you about the process of where you go mentally when you're writing music. I know there was obviously a lot of heavily influence, but you can take something we said before, you take something that already exists and you can take that and put elements of it in a sense. What do we call it again? If J-Mac was here, he'd be filling in my words right now. What was it? What did you call it? Why are my words away? When you compliment something by borrowing it.
An homage.
A homage. There we go. Sorry. See, you're doing J-Mac proud right now. But my words always leave me. So for me, I've been playing music. I've loved music since I was old enough to have any type of memories. Right? And I've played instruments my whole life. I was the type of kid that I was so invested in playing that a lot of people, like, I couldn't find people to play with, so I would just learn those instruments myself so that I could, kind of formulate the songs. I've recorded music myself, so I speak your language. So for you, what made you first pick up an instrument?
Well, my dad always had this old guitar around the house, and it was like I must have been in grade 9 when I finally was like, I think I started listening to like classic rock. My dad was really into Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and stuff like that.
Mate,
so like that was my
Zeppelin.
Oh, no way. Like
on my back,
Zeppelin or like Zoho, or what do you got?
Yeah.
Zoho?
All four.
You got the whole. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, right across my back.
Awesome. Yeah, so Zeppelin is like, I grew up on Led Zeppelin, and I asked my dad to teach me like the intro to Stairway to Heaven. That was like the first thing that he
nice.
taught me. And anyway, super cliche, but I loved music, and So I had buddies who, we'd get together in campfires and stuff like that, and I would always be the guy who like had learned, some songs, and I never really sung or anything like that. All my buddies would kind of sing, but
Ah,
I,
nice.
I just really loved guitar, and I just devoted everything to just learning all these songs, and
Hmm.
yeah. So I played guitar mainly for pretty much my whole life.
What age were you? Sorry, what age are you now?
I'm 37.
Right, so you're only got a couple of years on me. So we grew up in the same time period, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I was growing up, like when I was at the age of like what 13, 14, when I started really picking a guitar up, my parents were like, "I'm not getting the internet. That's stupid, right?" Like the internet wasn't a thing that everybody had,
No, no,
right?
no, no,
And
no, no.
it was
Yeah.
considered like a luxury that at the
Well,
time adults didn't even have social media at the time. It was a
no,
kids thing,
definitely not.
right?
No, no,
Remember
no,
that
no.
time?
Yes, yes. Like when I started to learn, there was no tabs and stuff like that. Like when I first started learning, it was like that's the other thing is I've learned all by ear.
Uh
I
huh.
guess the Stairway to Heaven lesson was like the only lesson that I'd ever truly got,
Uh
and
huh.
then everything ended up being just like listening to music and rewinding
Hmm.
and replaying different parts and trying to find the notes that sounded similar. There was,
Hmm.
yeah, it was. But then I do remember when streaming, not streaming, but like Napster came out,
Yeah.
and you could like, dude, I like uncovered like discographies of bands, and it was like
Yes.
I all of a sudden had like, and this is so shameful, but I mean, who didn't use Napster? But
The fact you're saying discography, that was the first time I learned that word. I was like, discography?
exactly. It was exactly. It was like, what does that mean? And then it's like, oh, dude, I
Oh,
remember when I
everything.
when I when I found the Pink Floyd discography. It was
Oh.
like, whoa! It was absolutely mind blowing. And same with Led Zeppelin. Like,
Hmm.
it was like there was just so much music, and then like the Beatles discography, and like
Oh
it was
man.
like I just uncovered and unlocked so much music. And I
Well,
that's all I did. Like I didn't grow up on, like I was saying earlier, I didn't grow up watching movies.
hmm.
I was a music kid, and I just loved to play music and let's just play guitar. Really, I didn't have any other
Hmm.
instruments, just acoustic guitar. And my dad had this old he had this old electric, but we never had an amp.
Hmm.
And so there was like this electric that just never really got played. I have it. He gave it to me
Yeah.
when I moved away from home. I still have it. It was his
Oh,
first guitar
nice.
too. I'll grab it. Hang
Sentimental.
on.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, look, we're getting a note there. I can't wait for that. By the way, J Max actually here says still waiting on my update, but keep watching. Oh, nice, an SG, an
Yeah,
SG.
well, it's a
Homage.
it's an SG knockoff actually.
Ah, well.
It's a Marlin, but
Oh, nice.
dude, this thing is so cool. It's like a
Yeah,
1976. Anyway, so I had
beautiful.
this guitar in my house my whole life, but it was never really played. And then when I moved out, he sent me off with with a 12 string
Oh,
and
brilliant.
his first guitar.
And now
Um,
look, and now you're doing music for movies, eh?
yeah, hang on.
There we go again. That sounds like a note from a horror film.
What's that?
So, see, when you listen to this podcast back, when you drop your headphones and that note, those notes play from your synth.
Oh, did it
Actually,
play? It
yes,
triggered.
but get this, it sounds like notes from like an old ass horror film.
Yeah.
You know, like when something goes down.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
So it sounded excellent. But you know, thing is, so see that
That
time
mic
where
might be a bit hot.
there was no internet. I
No.
grew up like
Well, yeah,
genuinely
we had
listening to the
internet.
music.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we eventually had internet, but when I first really started, it was
Hmm.
yeah, no, there was no.
I had
It
to
was
go to the
just
library and look in the book section, and there would be like 100 greatest dad rock songs, and I'd be like, right. And then I taught
perfect.
myself how to read tab because it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it didn't. It wasn't like if you look at it, you can figure it out looking
yeah.
at tablature.
It's pretty
Um,
intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I traded a bunch of DVDs and a DVD player for an old Tanglewood Stratocaster. That was my first
Okay.
guitar, and
Cool.
this thing was beaten to shit. I'm sure it was stolen from a primary school by my friend's uncle, and then given to my friend for Christmas or something. And he was like, "I don't fucking want this." I was like, "I'll trade you everything for this."
Dude, I have acquired like 90% of the gear that I have. Like all these, I have so many guitars.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
everything is given to me. Like you said,
No
like,
way.
dude, things
Yeah.
just get. I don't know what it is with people, but they're like, oh, Brandon could use this. It's
That's
like
excellent.
I've like. Yeah, it's really bizarre. Like, and even like my
Yeah.
first synthesizer was given to me by Cody Kennedy, director of The Last Video Store.
Yeah.
And well, I don't know if he never officially said like you can
Have
have
it forever.
this. No, but like I needed it for a short film that I was doing, and
Uh-huh.
I saw it in his like closet one time when I was at his house, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, I don't know, what is that? Like, could I use that? And anyway, I've never given it back, and that's
Man.
what actually employed me to be the composer for The
Yeah.
Last Video Store. Is
Wow.
I had written this random track for him for this one scene, and I was just messing around, and like anyway, that's kind of another
That's
story. But
excellent.
anyway,
Matthewman says, "Holla, gents. Too drunk to listen tonight, but I'll catch up tomorrow. Have a great show." Thank you,
that
Matthewman.
guy's
He's on.
legendary.
He is, isn't he? I tell this to everyone.
Oh man,
he's
no,
he's so bashful as well. He's like, oh.
yeah, no,
He's like,
he's awesome and a wonderful artist, and I'm so like I can't even believe that that's the album cover that I have.
right.
Like
How
yeah,
phenomenal! Look at
yeah,
this.
dude, it's
Okay.
just so cool.
Sorry, I am allowed to unveil this, right?
Yes, absolutely. I've already
How beautiful.
I've unveiled it. I'm so proud of it, and I think it. I just absolutely love what he did there, and I
Yeah.
couldn't be more thankful. I can't wait. I've since put his credit right at the bottom under the track list.
Yeah.
Music by Matt,
Nice.
or not music by, but artwork by him, and
It's crazy good, isn't
it's
it?
going to be on shelves in
Yeah.
just my city. Kevin's going to
Oh.
sell it. Kevin's going to sell it in his shop in the video store.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
there's a small record store that I'm just gonna. They've agreed to let me put it on their shelves. So
Oh, excellent. I need to have conversations with some people around these parts because I don't know if do you have HMV out where you are? HMV?
we used to. I don't know if there still is any, but I know
Well,
of HMV for sure.
we have them here, and I know they're very
Okay.
open to doing independent stuff.
Well, that's the
J-Mac's
thing-
with us,
that's-
by the way. Here he
Oh,
is.
J Mac, what's up, dude?
Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
yeah.
it's fine. I've never used these stupid headphones before. I am still waiting on my PC updating, but I thought I'd just jump in.
Tune in on the phone or what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's
This is,
this is the Nintendo Switch headset.
Yeah.
excuse me. This
Are those
is
your
from
kids'
my
headphones?
Mate, that's how the podcast started. He looks like he's gone back to episode 1.
But yeah, to answer your question about the record, I'm only doing like 100 copies, right? Like
Oh, really?
to start because I'm paying for this all myself. So like, there's no record label that's releasing this. It's just like I literally phoned the company who makes the vinyl records and was
nice.
like, I have a bunch of music I want on a record. So it's totally like my own thing. I paid. It's going to be about $3,000 out of my
Bloody
own
hell.
pocket. Yeah, man. To make this happen. So the first 100 copies. But then once they make the actual press, because what they do is like they take your music and they cut it onto a piece of metal, and then they use that to press the record. So once the stamp is made, that was a lot of the initial money was setting up the stamp. So once if I sell 100 copies, I'll get another 100 made and sell them. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't know. I'll just
Well-
mail them to people if they want them, but I don't know.
You know,
It's super
the,
like a backdoor deal. Like there's no proper. It's not a proper like release. I'm just like I'm bootlegging my own album basically.
well, I mean, that happens. That's how a lot of indie artists work. But there's a company through here in Scotland. I don't know how international they go, but there are a company through here that essentially work as a label, and they do produce the record for
Okay.
a cut type thing. I
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah,
Hook you
I
up with
got
them. Good friend of ours actually, Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves. They got the LP, the cassette tapes. They charted over here, and that's what they used. So they get the full CD and the vinyl and they had
I wanted to
specific
do
cassettes.
cassettes because yeah, I wanted to have the like I wanted to have like the cassette tape or at least the cover or like the cassette thing that the packaging
Sleeve.
yeah, this I wanted to have it look like the Videonomicon, like the cursed tape.
Man.
Yeah, because Anyway, I've got some cool ideas, and
man.
tape is so much cheaper than vinyl, but but
imagine.
it's a absolute. This is my 15 minutes of fame. I wrote
your first 15.
I
Your first
wrote
15.
enough music to span an album and then some. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going all out. I'm a big vinyl guy. I love listening to vinyl records and buying vinyl and looking at the artwork. So it's just like I had to, you know.
I grew up doing that essentially. My dad had vinyls, and that's where I first the very first Iron Maiden album, Iron Maiden, with Paul Di'Anno singing on it. Are you a big Iron Maiden fan?
I love Maiden.
Iron Maiden
Yeah,
fan?
yeah.
Yeah, so that very first one, that was like that, and I'll tell you a wee funny story, right? So between that and the Queen, you know, the greatest hits Queen, and all four of them are got leather jackets. Freddie's got the moustache, they've got the short hair.
Oh, I have that on cassette, dude.
You really? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Hang on.
Oh man, yeah.
I think anyway.
Mate, what an entrance! That's class.
Right?
You don't realise what happened there, did you? You don't realise what happened there, did you? You put your headphones down and it was like, wow, and then you
Yeah.
came back. But it was excellent though, because
was
it
a
made you come back with
perfect
such.
note. It was a perfect note for the moment.
No, it totally was.
It's
That-
I'm all
that very
rigged up, so
cassette-
everything is live right now. So like if I touch absolutely anything, it just music just happens. Which is the way that I like. It's the way that I like it down here. It's like this whole thing took. It was like it's like a giant inspiration box, really, and I had to get it set up to a point where like I could just come down here and literally touch anything, and like music would happen. So everything in the room is live. Everything is
Yeah.
hot, and it's
I'm
like
really-
it's just efficient, you know. Like that was a big part of like this whole movie deal was like learning all of this. Like I never had any of this stuff before the movie,
Yeah.
like nothing.
That's good.
And I think I shared some photos with you on the last one, but
Yes.
yeah, it was like this was all like a building of acquiring things and like, oh, I think I've heard about this thing. Maybe I'll try that. And yeah, anyway.
That's excellent.
But yeah, so what were you saying about Queen?
Yeah, so that record, I would pull that out, and I'm like, oh, this is
So
class.
good.
It is, right? But get this, my dad said to me, at this point, I pointed to Freddie Mercury, and I says to my dad, I says, he's dead, right? Because I knew he was dead. I don't have a memory of anyone ever telling me, but I was always known in my household, Freddie Mercury was dead. I was like, oh, how did he die? And my dad said to me, very just easily, just went, oh, he kissed too many boys. And that was all he said, right? Now get this. This gets better. This gets better, right? He kissed too many boys. So I'm sitting there at like 5-year-old going like this. I'm genuinely like this. I'm going, so if you
die?
kiss boys, I'm like, you
Yeah.
die from kissing boys. I
How
thought
many
maybe,
do you have to kiss to die?
right? I thought maybe it's because the skin. I thought maybe it's the skin. Maybe there's something in the skin, right? And like, see, like 20 years later, I remember just sitting there one day and then I went, oh!
Dude,
The penny drops many years later, eh?
Funny.
Wasn't wrong
yeah.
though, right? So I always remember his wee vinyl tape.
what a sweet album, man.
I know.
I had this. I only have a few cassette tapes, but I had this. I had this old car. It's a Toyota Rav4, and
Nice.
I was using it to just like commute to work and stuff like that. And it had a tape deck, and I was like, "Oh, this is my opportunity! I've always wanted like a tape stash, you know." And so, yeah, so I got a few tapes, and
Oh, nice.
I started
had a
making my own
few tapes.
mixtapes too. My wife bought me a cassette recorder for my birthday, and just a pack of blank tapes, and I started just making my own mixtapes. It was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Oh man.
I
You know
actually
what I really want?
almost bought a like a full on tape recording deck to professionally put like actually I was gonna buy like a ton of blank tapes and a professional tape deck and literally just put out my own, like put the album out and record every tape
Oh,
myself. I was gonna do
No
it,
way.
but I just never got around to it. But it's still
Very
possible. I'm
time-consuming, isn't it?
interested. I'm interested in tape for sure.
Damn, tape's excellent, and it's all coming back. It all eventually
Yes.
comes
Yeah.
back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I had cassettes, I had vinyl, but when I moved, the wife did that. "Oh, are you going to keep a hold of them?" Yes, I am, but they're old. Okay, so I gave them away to a family member, and I'll get them back at some point. But I had
I would
some
have been
good
that
Purple
guy.
records. Yeah.
I'm the guy people give stuff to. That would have went to me for sure.
If only,
Like,
if
yeah.
only
Yeah, like I
space
got
was so-
I just inherited like a whole 5.1 surround sound system from
Yeah, bloody
from my wife's grandfather. He
nice.
he recently passed away, but like so I bought and I got a big
nice.
I got rigged up on a projector now, and let me tell you, man, I am. It's been so much fun just re-experiencing movies on a large screen in 5.1, the way they were intended to be seen, and
Hell yeah.
I've just been glued down here. Like I told you before, I didn't really grow up on movies, and I didn't really go to the movie theater a lot or anything like that. No, I seen like a handful. Like I remember like core memory was like I remember seeing Titanic in the movie theater, but like it wasn't. We didn't have a movie theater in my hometown. I grew up in a town 4,000 people, no movie theater. The closest movie theater was 45 minutes away. So like it's just not something that was part of my life really.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can let you go on that one.
Yeah. I'm making up for lost time though right now. So
Yeah,
I'm rigged up, and I have movie nights now. And me and my neighbor, we watched Commando the other night, and
Oh, excellent choice.
yeah, it was so
Excellent
good.
choice.
And yeah, I actually had never seen it. I knew all about it, but I hadn't actually seen it. Yes, I know it's very embarrassing. But so Kevin was on another podcast talking about the movie. And they were like, and I was tuning in and listening, and they were like, Kevin, so, if this were to happen in real life, say the plot of this movie really happened to your store, like what hero would you want to come through the screen? And he was like, oh, Commando. And then they just started talking about the movie Commando. And I was like, oh man, yeah, I should probably get around to watching that.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's like the ratio of like Arnie lines. He's like, it is the most Arnie lines in any movie that he's ever
Yeah.
done. And I was like, I have to watch this. So I was talking to my neighbor, and he's like, oh my God, you haven't seen Commando?
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah, I know.
Let off
I'm,
some steam, Bennett.
yeah, right? Like, it's just so good.
Do
It's
you know,
so good.
J-Mac, actually, he had these Thundercat toys, and I said to him one night, I says, go and do me a favour and just play the audio from, that scene where he's like, you remember how I told you I'd kill you last?
Yes,
like,
yes.
I lied.
Yeah.
I'll send you the reel that J-Mac made, but it was the Thundercats, and he dropped them. What is he?
You know
It
what-
says there, J-Mac. Oh, we can't hear him. He's still having audio issues. Don't worry, J-Mac. Don't worry, J-Mac. You'll be with us soon.
And here I am.
Oh, there you
Oh,
are. There you are.
hey!
Now I get my light working again. Boom. Right. I heard Commando getting mentioned, and you talking about a moment. Are you talking about the Thundercats thing that I did?
Yeah.
I was I.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It was when he was hanging Sully off the cliff,
Yeah.
and remember I said I was going to kill you last? I lied, and then that scream. For some reason, he says "ooh la la" when he screams. It's quite a bizarre thing. But,
Aye.
yeah, if I see if you can find that, because that took me about an
Oh,
hour
well.
and a half, and it's so shit that it's hilarious.
But it's so good. It's so good. I will send it over to Boucher.
You know what I was thinking about like these little sort of lines, these one-liners, like what I wanted to do, and I never got around to doing it, but in the album, I wanted to like inject like lines from the movie into some of the
Oh, yeah.
because every single song kind of follows the movie chronologically, And so every song, there's like moments where Kevin has some funny lines, and
Yeah.
I wanted to get around to doing that, but I kind of just ran out of time, and it was a last minute thing. But I still think that would have been the best
Oh
to, you
man,
know.
there's so many laugh out loud moments in that movie. One of my favorites is when I'm sorry, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's when the teenager from the slasher film shows up.
Taggart,
Yeah, Taggart, and he's
good friend Matt Kennedy.
he's clearly like 30 years old, and
Yes.
they offer him a drink. He's like, "I'm 17, you
Yeah,
asshole."
yeah.
It's like that.
Like honestly, he's so funny. Matt is awesome. You guys know Astron 6, I'm sure. I've seen some of their movies.
Oh, I don't
No?
know.
Oh, okay.
Say it again. Astron 6.
Astron 6, yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a sex toy.
So Matt Kennedy, there's a bunch of them in the movie. They're like a local Canadian film collective, just like us. But we're out of Winnipeg, yeah, and they've made a few movies. And Steve Kostanski, who is part of their clique, has gone on to be a big special effects guy. He did Resident Evil, and he's kind of a big. He did Psycho Gorman, right? Like, do you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
mate,
like,
he was on a show
that's-
last week.
Yeah, so that is Steve Kostanski. He is one of the founders of Astron 6, who's Steve
okay.
Kostanski, Matt Kennedy, Adam Brooks, and Connor Sweeney. And we became kind of friends with them through Deadfest, Kevin's film festival. He would screen their new movies and stuff. So he'd fly Matt down to be like a feature, as a star of the movie kind of thing. And we became this kind of relationship with them. So we've included them in all of like the shorts that we did and in straight to video,
Yeah.
the B Movie Odyssey. You'll see Taggart, Matt Kennedy, in all of these.
Excellent.
Yeah. So it's like it's pretty cool. They're
crazy,
awesome
yeah.
guys, and Matt Kennedy is so funny. I really truly love the guy. And when I received the first like cut of that scene, it was just that's so Matt Kennedy, like his lines and everything. He's super deadpan, and like even just talking to him, he's like super sarcastic. So like to see him
Yeah.
on screen saying these things like the doobie cigarettes and like how do you know your parents love you if you don't play hockey, because like in Canada hockey is like, dude, like it's everything here. Right. So
that's
all of these like it was just brilliant, man. I love that guy, and I love that scene. I almost got the jacket. I told Cody to mail me the jacket.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big
damn.
big jacket
What
guy.
happened there? Why didn't you get it?
Well, so Josh was supposed to come to Edmonton over Christmas, and Cody was going to give him the jacket to give to me because I wanted to put it up in like a frame, like I have Viper's jacket in like a jersey frame behind glass, hanging up over there. But and I wanted to do the same for Taggart's because it's like one of my favorite scenes, and it's actually probably my second favorite theme song that I wrote for the movie is the Beaver Lake theme song. I spent probably one of the ones I spent the most amount of time on anyway was the Beaver Lake.
Would you like to give us a wee sample of it?
I was just going to ask that.
Oh man, I don't know if I could. I got to turn some stuff off because I don't have like the proper things. Maybe I'll.
What's the main synth you're working with?
Right now, I have a Juno 60 and a Jupiter.
Oh,
You
you've
guys hear
disappeared,
me?
my friend.
Yeah.
Hear you now.
So if I click off of my mic right now, because of the way that I have it, if I click off of the mic track, you won't hear me anymore. So I'm either rigged up to just talk to you right now or
Right, I see.
play music.
Okay, you can switch between if you have to anyway. If you just want to play something off the camera.
Oh, you want me to play something off the soundtrack? Oh, I don't know if I could.
If you'd
Okay.
like to. I mean,
Even just a snip.
a snippet.
Okay.
He's like, shit.
Man, I haven't played like a lot of these things were like they were written like 2.5 years ago, like while I was
Yeah.
making the movie, and it was like I rarely revisit them or play them. So hang on, hang on. Let me turn some stuff off. Turn off this.
Wait,
Okay.
hey. This is some John Carpenter shit right here.
Oh yes. What is like? I need to even remember. Let me try it on the piano. Okay, so I think this. Hang on. So this would be the. This is how the Beaver Lake theme was written. It was originally written on piano, and then it turned into this big synth
Mate,
thing.
even on piano, you should do a wee bonus track and do a couple of those tunes on piano for the release.
I know. I think I want to release. Oh, I think I told you before. I'm gonna be releasing a second album called The Lost Video Store, and that's gonna include because there's probably about 30 minutes of other music that I recorded that just never made the cut for whatever reason, creative differences. And I was going to include alternate versions of things. So like I have the original file to the original Beaver Lake theme song, just the melody, and I pushed so hard for them to use just the piano track for this one scene in the movie where Kevin's locked in the bathroom and Castor Creeley, and they have this whole like heart to heart movement between the door. If you remember that part,
Yeah.
I really wanted them to use, and I put it into the movie, and like lots of back and forth, and they were like, I just don't think it works. I was like, oh, but it would be so cool because it's his theme song, anyway, it did. Is this right? There it is.
There you go. You have elements of Raman Djawadi in there as well, by the way. Is he
What's
a big? There's definitely some inspirational Raman Djawadi. Do you know who that?
No.
Do you know the Game of Thrones
Can
music?
you hear me? Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, some of the best Game of Thrones score is the stuff that's used throughout the scenes and not so much the big intro, right? But if you go and listen to Raman Djawadi, right? And this is one thing we said as well before we even knew you guys, before we even knew we were going to talk to you. When we first initially reviewed this film, we said that the music is almost its own character through the whole film, you know? Which,
Wow,
by the way,
that's
because a lot of films, you hear a score, but you don't leave remembering it. You don't, you know what I mean? The music was, and I think it's great as well because people that are trained, like say Raman Djawadi, to have the music be there but unnoticeable, right? I think they're used, like that style of composer is used always, you know. But when you go to an independent composer like yourself, who is unafraid to play with it, right? That's where you get some beauty, and we said that initially, didn't we not, J-Mac?
Yeah.
About the music,
100%.
we said there's 100% homage in there, but it's totally full of passion, and it stands alone as its own character. Like it did, eh? Like when you think back to the film, you think there's ever-present music in there that gets you hyped. What was the one as well? Was it Chariots of Fire, eh? Was in there, and we were like, hey, was it Chariots of Fire?
I have no idea what Chariots of Fire. What is that? That sounds familiar.
Was it wasn't it?
I don't think that was in there.
I'm getting it mixed up then. It was something else. What was it?
I
We
remember.
mentioned it on the last one.
It was Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
That's
So that
it,
was
sorry.
so the intro and that was planned, right? Like so Cody when he was like, yeah, we want this whole intro to be this like kind of Western standoff almost between like Nyla and the video store, and there was like 9 different versions of that where it was like super Western, and then it we worked a lot with Cody to get it to where it is. And but yeah, that was definitely Ecstasy of Gold was the was that one. And I took a couple of so there's actually like an old Jay-Z song that uses that exact same it's the same melody, because I remember listening to Ecstasy of Gold. I'm like, what? This is Jay-Z's. And I went back and listened to that, and it was like, oh my God, like amazing. But yeah, so that was definitely an inspiration for the intro track or the title track. Yeah.
I can definitely see how Kevin got those two movies mixed up, because they're both obviously about guys in really short shorts running on a beach. Yeah.
Shut it, you wee dick, right?
But yeah, I don't know where Chariots of Fire came from. I think that
mean,
sounds like it should be a western or a like gladiatorial thing.
Mate,
but it's not.
I just got some Ivan Drago vibes there.
Yeah, like so that and for me, like my favorite sound in the world is this. With like the arpeggiated dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh yes.
If he dies, he dies.
It's like that just like completely it's everything to me, like that, just that sound. And I remember we were talking a little bit before. There's I played something. You were like, oh, that sounds like The Weeknd, like something.
Yeah.
And it's we were talking about Mike Dean, and so Mike Dean is who he's a big producer, and I didn't know who this guy was, but he tours with The Weeknd, and he plays like a lot of his live stuff, and his he's produced some of The Weeknd stuff, but I didn't. Unbeknownst to me, one day when we were writing the music, I came across this. Just a suggested YouTube video, and it was just like the thumbnail was just like this dude in this room, just surrounded by synthesizers, and I was like, oh, what's this? And it was like this dark blue lighting, and it was like, whoa, this looks like something I'd be into, and because I was like just getting into making the music for the movie, and this guy, he just plays this like, he just plays this live track, and he's got like $1 million worth of synths in there. And I just remember being like, oh my God, like this is unbelievable. It was just very dark and cool. And I took it to a guy to work, and I was like, oh man, this is, check this out. Like these synths are like really cool. And he's like, oh, I have that synth. And I'm like, what? You have one of these? And he's like, yeah, that's the Moog Sub 37. And I'm like, whoa, like that's like incredible. And he's like, yeah, would you like to borrow it? And I'm like, you would lend this to me? So whatever, he lends me this thing, and that it's that synth right there.
Yeah.
That one's mine now. But so he lent me this, he lent me this synth. No. I went and bought my own now.
All right.
I went and bought it. So he lends me this synth, and I'm just like. Then that's when I really started to kind of really dig in and like, whoa, this is like the Moog is like a signature sound. And
do you know how old that is? Like how old the model is?
This is brand new.
Is it a brand new model of synthesizer? Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the 737 is it's not like it's been around for a long time, but like this is a new synth. I bought it brand new from a store.
Right.
So after he lent it to me, I held on to it for about a month and like wrote a couple tracks with it and included it. And then I was like, I felt bad, and I was like, fuck, man, I should probably give this thing back. So then I gave it back to him, and he was like, man, you ever, they'll finance these things. And I'm like, what? You can finance music instruments? He's like, oh yeah, like no interest, go to Long and McQuaid. I'm like, whoa. So then I go to this music store, and it's like, whoa. Because I'd only ever been in there to just like buy guitar strings and stuff like that, right? And so I'm now unlocking like this whole new world that I never was a part of, which is synthesizers. And anyway, they got a finance program and everything. And he's like, what I usually do is like, I'll like finance like one instrument every year. There's no interest, and you just it just comes out of your butt. It just debits right out of your paycheck, $70 a month. But I'm like, no way. So this thing was like $2,800. And so I was like, I'm doing that. And then ever since then, I now every single year I get a new instrument because it's, and that's just what I do. Yeah. So
that reminds me of a scene from Ruthless People. Have you ever seen Ruthless People with Danny DeVito? It's Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, Judge Reinhold, It's a great 80s comedy. Basically, Danny DeVito's wife, Bette Midler, gets kidnapped. He's a rich guy, so they kidnap his wife for ransom, but he fucking hates his wife, so he just keeps refusing to pay it, hoping that they're going to kill her. But one of the kidnappers, Judge Reinhold, he works in a music store selling speakers, and he's got this young kid in, and he shows him these massive speakers. And the guy's like, "Hey man, what's it fucking cost?" And he's like, "That's the beauty of it. If you can't afford it, fucking finance it." And that just totally reminded me of that moment.
Oh man,
watch that movie, man. Watch that movie. If you haven't seen Ruthless People, it's such a funny movie, mate.
will do.
Really good.
Yeah, the music,
That's my story.
the financing is like that was a game changer for me. Yeah.
If
Yeah,
anything,
it's-
I think what finance is it's good when you go. If you say, "Oh, how much is that?" Oh, it's $3,000, and you go, "But you got finance." Then you just do this look to the wife, and then if she's still at it, you just do this. You go, "How much do you spend a month on ABC?"
Yeah, see, I'm the
so
big
that's
spender.
probably
nails-
I'm
nails
the
and hair,
I'm the
that's
spender
one
in my
haircut.
Yeah.
in my household. I'm the spender. Like I've got the most just like expensive hobbies, like with camera stuff. Like I was a
Ah,
cinematographer long before I was a music guy.
Yeah.
Like so anyway, the amount of money I've spent
What-
on cameras.
What made you decide to get, with you growing up a musician and someone that didn't watch a lot of films? What made you decide? You know what? I'm getting
My
into
brother.
cinematography.
My brother is a was a filmmaker. I
Right.
say was because he's just on a different path now. He's still with us. But no, oh man, I looked up to my brother like you can't imagine. He was only a year older than me. He's a big skateboard guy, and he would always be
nice.
making films with his buddies, and so he would be editing on like VHS tapes and stuff like that. He was so
Wow.
cool. Yeah. And so they had like a skateboard crew, and they would like make skateboard movies. And then he went to university for film. He's got his master's in film production. Like he's
Nice.
yeah, big deal. Extremely talented, like tenfold what I am. And anyway,
Like
so
shadows.
dude. And so that was always my inspiration. And so I got into film because of him. And so he stayed where he is, and I moved out west. So I live in Alberta now. I'm originally from Southern Ontario, close to Detroit, and he still lives there. I moved out here and just went to school for film or video production and things like that, and then got into the TV world and shooting travel adventure TV shows and lots of kind of documentary style stuff, and then basically corporate stuff, and then I met the guys, and I was still on the film train. I loved video production, loved shooting, loved lighting and stuff like that, and then I met Cody. And then they were like, "Yeah, we shoot like short films and stuff." And I was like, "Whoa, you guys like do that?" He's like, "Yeah, dude." And I was like, "Whoa, man, like, could I come?" and then the rest is history. Like, so I became the camera guy for them, and but I'm so happy that I came back to music because I feel like, however, like, whatever I brought to the table in the camera perspective, like my favorite thing that I shot would probably be the video store commercial. I don't know if you guys have seen the video store commercial. But
I think I might have. Is it on the Blu-ray for Last
Yeah.
Video Store?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like they're shooting a commercial in the video store, and anyway, that was my favorite piece that we shot. That one went to South by Southwest, and it was a big film festival here in North America. But that's when I was really dialing in and feeling like I'm like really happy with the way that my stuff looks. But that would have been the last thing that I shot, really, because the movie I wasn't allowed to shoot it. But I'm so happy it came full circle to the music thing because You know, I went like a span of like 10 years where I didn't even play music. Like,
What?
yeah, man. I seriously,
I couldn't
it was
imagine
wild.
that.
I was on a different path, right? I was on the film path. I was so focused on cameras and the latest and the greatest and and cinematography and studying and stuff like that. Whereas like music just took a back seat. I've always had an ear for music, so I'm so happy that it just never left me. It's kind of like riding a bike. It just came back, and when the time called, for me to like get back into it, it was like I couldn't have asked for a better way to get back into it, than
Yeah.
a massive project to really sink my teeth in.
Damn. You know what? By the way, see the image here. I'm going to tell you just this to kind of show off a wee bit of Matthewman's greatness here. So see the image here of the of Johnny Five in the TV. So Matthewman was like, "Here, I'm looking forward to doing this vinyl cover, but I really want an image of Tapehead, right?" And we couldn't get him anywhere online. So this very image that you see here, right, is actually I took my son's phone and I opened the screener on my son's phone and used my iPhone and took a picture of my son's screen because it doesn't actually allow you to screenshot it because if you screenshot it, it goes black for anti-piracy.
On the
So I
screener,
couldn't, right? So what I did was I just took a picture of my son's phone, right, and then sent it to Matthewman. And look at how amazing he made that.
yeah.
You would never know that, right?
No, he's awesome. One thing Josh pointed out immediately, like I showed
Yeah.
Josh, and he's like, he's looking at his character. He's like, wrong gun, but looks cool.
Yeah, we don't know our guns over here.
I was like, wow, man, wow. You're
that's
absolutely right. Hang on, it's like I gotta close my window. I'm getting a bit chilly. Hang on.
Dang. That's funny, yeah. Wrong gun.
Man, he's obviously just typed in like handgun,
Gun.
and that's what's come up.
We definitely don't know our guns over this end.
No, I mean, if you show me, there's a couple of guns that I could look at and really know what it is straight away. Like if you show me a Glock 17 or a Desert Eagle or something, I'll be like, yeah, that's what that is. But show me a Beretta or something else like that, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. Don't know what I'm looking
Nah.
at.
I fired a gun, and I got a scar on my hand after firing a gun.
We're talking about guns now.
Yeah.
For some,
Talk about another expensive hobby. I was a big hunting guy for a while.
really?
Yeah, I was. I got into hunting, and I even started guiding hunting. I would guide like mountain goat hunting expeditions and like
Wow.
all types of weird stuff. But anyway, so like I was talking about like hobbies and stuff like that, and I just have
Oh,
ridiculous,
man,
just way too many.
guns over here are basically a no-go area. I mean, farmers can have shotguns, or if you have a shooting range, obviously, I think you need to go through a lot of red tape to get your.
Oh, okay.
But we can't even buy air rifles over here now. Like air rifles have
Probably
been.
sounds like a safe place to live.
Well, they compensate with knives.
Yeah, they just got to get creative.
Yeah, they just got to get up close and personal, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta stick it in and twist it. But stick a knife in there. But yeah,
It's a-
I've
it's a
actually
sword.
I've got a really really good synth in
Oh.
this closet here.
What do you
right?
you synth, bro?
I play, bro.
No.
Sorry,
you
I
have?
fuck around with them.
What do you have, dude? That's all synths are, is fucking around, man. Like,
Yeah,
Dude.
it's a Korg Triton.
hell yeah.
Do you still
man.
have that? Have you not gave that back yet?
No, I bought it. I bought it.
All right. Did you get one off?
Yeah,
Or did
I
you get
bought
that
it.
one?
I got that one. I had to buy it because I
Right.
fucking blew it up. That's my problem.
That's why it's in the cupboard.
Yeah, it had a bit of a dodgy power connection at the back. Like the main input lead was hanging out, and I had it plugged in upstairs. And I was trying to microwave something downstairs. All of a sudden, the microwave goes off. I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" Then, like, the light switches are all off. And then I shouted up to my wife. I said, "Melanie," and I just heard her going, "What?" And she said, "I said, are you all right?" She's like, "No." I just got a fucking shock off of your
Oh.
keyboard. Yeah,
Blew the
so
breaker?
that's exploded now.
Ah.
Honey, I blew up the wife.
I want to get it fixed. I want to put it in somewhere to get it repaired because I loved playing with it, man. The sounds that
Yeah.
you could get out of that
Yes.
machine were
Yes.
So
phenomenal.
did you have to? So then, did you just turn to your brother and be like, "Here, I need to buy this off you now because I fucked it."
Oh no, I think I might have just told him right now that I blew it up.
Right. So you were like,
Oh,
"Here, can I just buy
sorry,
this?"
my wife blew it up. It's her fault. It's her fault. But it looks fine, but there must be some fried circuitry in it somewhere because it
It's too
just
bad.
doesn't power anymore.
Much
too
did
bad.
it cost you for a broken corg?
Only £30, which is what, about
Really?
$40.
What? They sold you that for 30 quid?
Yeah, because she got it for free. She got it given. She got it gifted to her, and then she wasn't touching it. So I was like, so she lent it to me, and then I was like, "Can I buy this?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's going to cost this." And I was like, "Right, that's fine. I'll send it." I forgot to send her the money, and then I blew it up, and then I was like, "I better send her the money for this," because that's. But I'm so disheartened at the fact that it doesn't work. I used to sit for hours and just like I'm not musically trained. I play the guitar a bit. But like you, it's all kind of done by ear or just by going online and
Just the feel, man.
finding out which chords go into certain songs and just playing them.
That's the beauty about synthesizers is like, dude, when I come down here, like, fuck, like, you just flick these things on and like, you just make noise and you can just be down here for, you just get lost down here, and sometimes things make sense and sometimes, sometimes it's just like goes a little haywire. You got to kind of wrangle it back in, but
what's the trickiest tune you've ever learned how to play? Like if I was to say to you right now, right, play me a movie theme. Oh, in fact, I didn't hear you talking about this, but Kevin mentioned a while ago you haven't seen many movies, or you grew up not watching much in the way of movies.
No, I didn't grow up watching a lot of movies, but the trickiest thing that I like, I don't know. See, that's the thing is I'm not very like technical. Like my stuff is like pretty simple, man. Like even guitar stuff. Like I just play a lot of cowboy chords, and like I'm not a whiz, but over time I've just kind of learned what I like, and I just kind of stay in those pockets, kind of thing. Do you want me to play something?
Yeah, go
Hell
for it.
yeah.
Okay.
And I've got a wee thing that we'll do, a wee exercise. It'll be quite fun.
Oh no.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to where are we? Okay. So I'm gonna just turn some stuff off.
And he just goes away for a cup of tea.
Podcast is over.
But hey.
I love the fact that he just plays with it. That's how he gets his sounds.
Did you just teleport? Oh, mate. He's going out the Mog.
Oh wow, getting a multi-instrument deal here.
Who needs John Carpenter, huh? That sounds very Terminator-y. Terminator 1. Sarah Garner.
I was told that she is here. Can I see her, please?
All right, Seb. Some Blade Runner type stuff, man.
Yeah, let's try and put some dialogue to what he's playing.
Go for it. Go for it. Put the cookie down.
Wrong movie. It's too late. They have penetrated the back door.
Of your Volvo.
The airlock has been breached. We must get out of here now.
They have your punto. to Arnie narrating somebody's punto getting tanned, and it's a cop. Arnie's a cop telling someone that the Fiat Punto's been tanned now. Well, hey, some guitar, no?
Colonel, somebody has tanned your punto. The back windows are gone.
Oh man,
they've nicked your radio. It is a really unfortunate situation, but trust me, we'll get the bastards. Still better than Stu fucking Arnold, man.
Man, this is excellent.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut up.
I have the same guitar, by the way, in my living room. It's red.
That's not the same then, is it? Fuck it. This is class, by the way.
I know.
Considering that he does this by ear and just listening to what sounds come out and then putting them together, man, this is good.
Hell yeah. I absolutely loved your dialogue. I didn't want to laugh in case it looks like Tim were laughing at his tunes. Tanning somebody's punto.
He's taking your radio, slashed your seats. The handbrake has been snapped. But we will get them. Here's your crime number. Call me anytime. Good luck. See you in the morning. Hopefully with the bastard in the fucking handcuffs.
That's so good. Mate, I just stumbled across. We just stumbled across the next album. I swear to God.
Give me another scenario. Think about this. Think about the sounds that we're hearing. Give me another scenario. See what
Arnie's coming to tell a family that their cat's been found. It was ran over by somebody who stole a punto. He's trying to flee the scene.
Knock, knock. Hello. Do you have a cat named Sprinkles? Not anymore. He's dead. He was hit by a stolen punto. Don't worry. We'll get the bastards. See you in the morning. Everyone's going to be the same.
See everyone in the morning. This is excellent, by the way.
That's the name of the movie. We'll see you in the morning.
We'll see you in the morning. We just made a film as well. Oh, mate. Mate, tell, bro.
I love it.
By the way.
I'm sorry. We didn't catch him.
Mate.
Next time. I swear to fucking God.
Oh, no.
We'll destroy the bastard.
Can you hear J-Mac?
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, mate, yes. This is a new genre. We've just created a new genre.
Yeah. Synth, cat killing, car stealing thrillers. Like
Synth dialogue.
let's come up with something else.
Brandon needs to give us one. Give you a scenario. Mate, that was excellent.
Is he still going? Or is he switching off?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Oh, man. Mate. I can't tell if you can hear us. You can.
He's
Mate, that was fucking epic.
Son of a bitch.
Did that just come from you? Yeah.
There we go. Oh, hang on. I gotta turn my monitors off because I'm getting some feedback here.
No.
I gotta come back into the headphone land for a sec. Hang on. There we go. You can hear me?
Dude, that was epic. Was that just off the cuff?
So there was like the stuff I did on the Moog. I had written that a while ago. Like there's like this kind of melody, but today, like before I was coming on, I was like, oh, maybe I should like, I don't know, I could probably just like rig up the guitar and like do some other stuff to it.
Yes,
So it was like,
mate.
oh yeah.
That was fucking
But yeah,
epic.
that's
I love it.
I don't know if you noticed, but we just accidentally created a new genre.
just
Right.
dialogue synth.
Mate, dialogue synth. Did you hear any of what J-Mac was saying?
I heard absolutely everything. Like so, like the whole like yeah, all of your audio was coming through my studio.
No way.
As I was playing. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, right, I was thinking that you couldn't hear us, and I thought the last thing I want to do, right, is because J-Mac was really making me laugh, right? I was like, the last thing I want to do is be laughing my head off, right, and you can't hear what we're chatting about, and you're playing this really kick-ass music, and I thought, what if he looks over and sees me laughing my head off and is like, wait, what the fuck's he laughing at? This is class. Do you know what I mean? So I was trying to hold in my laughter, mate.
I was into it. It was funny.
Your cat has been squashed.
Yeah,
Mate,
like,
that was...
we need some dialogue here. Just fill
Mate.
in the lines.
Mate, the thing is, that's excellent. What you should do is you should start a Twitch channel, right? And go on, right? And have J-Mac come on. And what you do is you just go, right, we're looking for scenarios. Anybody that chucks a quid your way, all proceeds go to the physical release of your music, right? But chuck a quid your way, and then you get to
What is a British pound? Just to make sure
pound.
we're on the same page.
yeah, $1, right? And if you donate £1, a dollar, then you get to put forth your scenario, and J-Mac just Arnie's it, or other characters.
And
Love
it
it.
always ends with, "We'll see you in the morning."
Mate, that... Hey, tell me who's doing that right now?
Nobody. There might be a reason nobody's doing it.
I was howling, mate. See if you did so much more of that. Oh, I would be fucking screaming. That was excellent.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. It's fun for me. It's fun for me. But that's like basically that's like those are the sounds that kind of play in my head all the time. Like that's where that's the music that I like to play and listen to, and
Yeah.
it's
The good thing about that type of music is you can listen to it when you're driving. You can listen to it when you're in the house. You can listen to it when you're trying to go to sleep as well. And it gets into your soul somehow, like in the way that classical music might do for other people. The synth music just gets right into the soul.
Well, thank you, by the way. And I watched a documentary recently called "Music by John Williams."
Oh yeah,
And
I've seen that. Yeah.
have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it got me going back to rewatch like, you know, E.T. and like all these other movies that he did.
Great films.
But towards the end of the documentary, you can tell like he like adds this little thing where he's like, you can tell he's not on board with electronic music, and and I was like, oh. That's like it's like everything to me. But I totally appreciate the orchestral stuff, and you know, we tried to incorporate some orchestral stuff into the score. So the Beaver Lake theme, it was this like synth thing, but it kind of battles between orchestral and synth, and then they kind of come in together as the song progresses, kind of thing. If you really listen to it, you can kind of feel it. But anyway, so not a big orchestral guy, but on the flip side, so I was kind of hurt, you know, when he was like, you know, he's like, I don't understand the whole electronic thing, not my thing, but I appreciate what they're doing, but you know, I really, it's too bad that orchestras are getting lost, kind of thing. And I was like, oh. But then on the flip side, you listen to like, you know, you go watch something like with Hans Zimmerman, and and he's like, he talks about you know, doing like the Dune soundtrack and all of these other sci-fi things, and he's like, I was watching movies, sci-fi movies, and you know, they had these big grand orchestral scores. He even mentioned Star Wars, and he's like, that is not music from that world. Like, you need to be hearing. He's like, that's why he takes it in these other directions, is because he wants to make a soundscape that is unworldly, like from a different galaxy. You know,
Totally.
they wouldn't have a full orchestra in. You know what I mean? in this galaxy.
In
So
space.
in space, yeah. So
Space orchestra.
that set me back on track. It was like, okay, yeah, no, I'm still
No,
cool.
that makes sense. You're,
Also with independent film, you can't afford to hire a whole fucking
No, I
orchestra
know.
to score
Yeah.
your whole movie, and a synth can put a whole orchestra in one key. You know what I mean? If it's set up properly, you can get one key on a keyboard, and you've got an entire orchestra with the instruments that you choose to
mate,
be in
my
there.
little keyboard can pretty much. I've got a big one as well, but I have a small one.
That's
here.
what she said.
I have this thing, and I can pretty much program this to do.
Dude,
anything.
oh, I have one very
Yeah.
similar to that. I don't have those sliders on mine. Mine are knobs,
Yeah.
but it looks the exact same. It's got the
nice,
pads.
Yeah.
I'll show you mine. You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
J-Mac unable to see his. Oops. I think I've just dropped mine. I have a really huge one as well, but I have to get a stand out for it and everything. And that was back when I was just trying to write music for this show.
Yeah.
Literally, just because copyright. We used themes before, and then they just got done in.
Ah, yeah.
And there's
okay,
J-Max.
cool. Nice.
Okay, so this was I'd asked my wife for
Oh, M Audio. Okay, yeah.
yeah, I'd asked my wife for a new Korg for my Christmas. She's like, I'm not fucking spending that kind of money on your Christmas. I was like,
I'll
okay,
get you a MIDI controller.
yeah, you can, honest,
You can get some
because-
software instruments.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear to God. I mean, I like playing with it every now and again, but I don't enjoy it as much as the Korg. And you can't.
There's something about like a hardware synth. You know, it's plug and play, right? Like it's the sounds are in there, and you just start tweaking with those big MIDI controllers. Like you have to load up audio into them and different. You know what I mean? They're just
Yeah.
controllers. They're just triggers. You know.
Yeah, and the software that comes with it,
Right.
you can't just hit record and it records exactly.
Yeah,
what
see,
you
and that's
say.
the thing.
It tries
is,
to split it
no,
all up.
yeah. So like MIDI controllers it's for a different purpose. Like it's you can't just plug the thing in and jam. You know, you have to have software and all these kinds of things. Whereas like analog gear is like that's where it's at, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piece
So,
of
but I
shit.
do. That being said, I do obviously run a MIDI controller with some software instruments, but yeah. I mean, generally.
It's
like-
classic.
I
I have
like-
the same
like the
Gretsch
hardware.
as you, almost.
Oh, really?
The guitar. Yeah, mine is red. Want me to show you mine?
Yeah.
I'll go grab it. Give me 1 sec, guys.
It's in his attic. He'll be 15 minutes.
It's using 10.
Yeah, I was like, because I don't know, like I didn't know the difference between a MIDI controller and a synthesizer. So I was like, oh, that'll do. It
Yeah.
does not. It does not do.
No,
I mean,
there's no
again,
sounds loaded into it. Like it's
Yeah.
just literally a controller.
I mean, the software that comes with it, there
Has
are
stuff,
a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot of sounds in it, and it is
Yeah.
it's probably quite a decent MIDI
For sure.
software.
But
But-
you have to plug it into a computer and all of this kind of stuff, right, to make it work.
Yep. Whereas
Yeah.
the Korg, I could plug that straight into my guitar amplifier, and it was it was a dream.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not disappointed with it because based on the price tag, you're never going to get a Triton out of
No,
spending
yeah.
that money.
Yeah.
But
Get
yeah,
with me.
I have fun with it just to play with it.
Beauty.
But I can't ever record. Like if I come up with something that sounds really good, I can't actually just record what I'm playing.
Streamliner. Yeah, dude. Does yours have the coil tapping? Like, can you pull that volume knob?
Oops. I don't think so. Nah.
No. Okay.
No, but I've got a thingy that you can do that with. Vintage. It looks like a PRS. And you can do that with that one, but no, this is proper just.
Yeah, no.
As fuck.
You know what? Mine. I got to bring mine in. Actually, it's the second time.
Yeah?
That this has happened. Yeah. The for the switch, is broken. This where's my camera? If I switch to this other pickup, yeah, I don't get it.
Nothing.
I've already taken it in, and they've they're like, yep, good to go, and then I bring it home in a week later, and the switches out again.
Fucker. I actually get this. Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this I've had for years, but there was an issue where I don't even know what happened, right? But here was split but it's been
no.
it's been repaired so beautifully that you can't, you wouldn't ever know. And the guy that done it was like, here, would you like me to like try and get someone to paint it? I was like, no. I says, we as humans have scars.
Yes.
Why should this baby
Yes.
be any different? Eh?
Yeah. So I got a funny story about scars on guitar scars. So I've got this the first like expensive guitar I ever bought, or like expensive to me, that wasn't like $100 pawn shop guitar, was I moved out west and I started working, and I was like, oh, I can finally save up and buy a Gibson Les Paul. I was a huge Jimmy Page fan, and obviously I can't afford, those like Les Paul customs and stuff like that. But so I ended up buying this Les Paul. It was $1,100, and it doesn't have a finish on it. It's just like a natural worn brown finish. It doesn't have a gloss finish like any of the other guitars. Anyway, so I take this guitar down to Calgary to visit my buddies, and we all get drunk and we're having a good time playing guitar and stuff. And then the next morning, we're all in the kitchen making bacon and eggs, and I'm playing this thing on a little amp. And my buddy who's doing the bacon, he's like, "Oh, let me see that." And he comes and grabs my guitar by the neck, and he had like grease all over his fingers.
Oh,
And
what's that doing?
his three fingers wore the varnish right off the neck of the guitar. There's three finger marks on the guitar, and they're still there to this day. I wonder if it'll show up on camera. Hang on.
And now he's missing three fingers because that's what it would be. You know what I mean?
Nobody
Hell yeah.
fingers mine.
So this is the Les Paul.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
But
Very nice.
the marks, I don't know if it'll show up.
Yeah, is it halfway
Yes.
up? Yep. Yep.
Oh no.
Damn. So are you
That's
still?
a-
Is he
a
still
kick
friends
on
with
that,
him? I need to know if he's still friends with this guy.
Was until he removed the boy's fingers.
I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see it.
But-
Are you still friends with this guy?
Yeah. I actually, so I hadn't talked to him in years and years and years, and I got a hold of him recently, or I ended up talking to him, and I was like, "Man,
Got a hold of him.
Do you remember that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Still there."
Oh, man,
But it's
don't
just
think-
part of
I
the-
don't think
it's-
I don't think any insurance policy for instruments covers bacon.
No. It just adds
bacon-related
to the
injury.
it just adds to the charm of the guitar, really. Just the wear.
That's right.
Yeah,
I remember that. Hell yeah. You play drums much?
No, but I always wish I was a drummer. I love the drums, absolutely love the drums, and I feel like I've just never had a kit. But in my bones, I feel like I would be 10 times the drum player than I would any other instrument. I've always wanted to play the drums, and I can play the drums, but it's just never something that I had the opportunity. Drum kits. I really want to get at least a electronic drum kit so I can do stuff it quietly, because there's obviously like the sound issue.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest. I think that's why a lot of people never actually get to play drums, is because their parents don't want to buy them a kit because it's going to fuck their life up.
By the way, I figured it out. As an adult, I figured it out, right? So when I was growing up, I never had a drum kit. I had guitars and whatnot. I would have liked to. If I had a drum kit as a kid, I'd be a great drummer. I know that about myself, right? Never did. But what you do is this. Brandon, you have kids?
Yeah,
What's the oldest one's age?
there's just one, and he's 3.5.
All right, right. So in a couple of years, you're going to be like, hey, you should like drums. And then the kid's going to be like, yeah, cool. And then you go to the wife and you go,
Well, no, she's totally on board. She's totally on board, and I do have like I do have I have
oh
I
yeah,
have,
kick.
I have
Understand.
this like it's actually a suitcase with a kick drum in it, and then there's another spot, like the second pedal there holds a tambourine.
Oh, excellent.
So there's this dude, Shaky Graves. He's like a folk, indie guy, and that's how he got started. Was he would make this drum out of his suitcase, and it would just be like him standing up in front of this thing and just playing guitar and the
nice.
kick and the tambourine. And so I found a company in Texas who actually makes them.
No way.
And anyway, I ended up picking that up. But I do. It has a mic hole in the back of it and everything, so I do rig it up from time to time. But no,
Well,
like nothing.
Last Christmas there was my success. That's when we got our kid drum kit, and now it's class because I can just go in and the thing is, I'm like having a jam now and then, but I'm teaching him. Well, I'm teaching him what I know, and I expect him to be better, so that I can now have an on-demand drummer. Which, growing up for me, the hardest part of ever finding any musician, I could find 100 guitarists, 100 bass players. Try to get a drummer, right? And when you did find a great drummer, he was already in 10 bands.
It's because they all explode on stage. That's a Spinal Tap reference.
Yeah, it is.
But there we go. But do you know? I think that if you
have you guys ever seen Black Rose?
Don't think so.
No.
I watched that recently with a bunch of friends. It's like this. It's actually who is the
Black Rose?
I can't remember. Black Rose. Watch it. It's fucking hilarious. It's like this demonic rock band, and they come into this town, and like all these high school kids, and they like their music like possesses the kids to like do crazy shit.
Nice.
Dude, it's so fucking funny. Like, it's like old. It's like from the 80s, but shit, man. Black Rose or Black Roses.
I'll definitely need to check that one out.
Roses.
Got There's a couple of movies called Black Rose, A Mystery Murder That Never Happened. No, it's not that.
I think it's called Black Rose. No, maybe it's not.
Black Rose, Titanic 2. Netflix edition.
Black Roses, 1988. Horror music.
Black Rose. That's the one.
Demons hypnotize the general public by posing as a rock and roll band. Yes. That is the most weak-ass synopsis that they could ever put on IMDb. But yeah, any known faces? No known faces in it, so
no,
it's probably fucking awesome.
Oh yes, it is. And the lead guitarist is like, or the lead singer of the band is Rod Stewart's drummer.
Really?
In real life, yes. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's class.
Yeah.
The next Phil Collins. What kind of good music? What have you ever seen the Hysteria, the Def Leppard story? It's
no, I haven't, but I was a big Def Leppard fan.
Mate, I've seen them live.
So have I.
3 times.
Twice with
Love
Journey.
Yeah. Oh well, I got Whitesnake, Black Star Raiders, and so that's basically Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
You know, when they became another band, but with the same members.
Okay.
Yeah, Def Leppard are one of my all-time faves, man.
Dude, like.
Oh man.
Absolutely awesome.
You need to check out Hysteria, the Def Leppard story. It was excellent. It's
I
obviously
might have seen it actually. I might have actually seen it.
Some good acting in it, and it really makes you appreciate.
Oh
the band
wait,
for what
it's
it
a
was.
live. It's not a documentary. It's a movie.
No, it's a film. It's the story of Def Leppard, but as a film, and all the characters are really well played.
I've not seen it. I'll
you
definitely
need to
check that out.
This is another.
I love music movies. Like I love the Elvis movie.
School of Rock.
Have you seen Elvis?
I actually didn't.
Loved it. Grew up on Elvis. Grew up on Elvis and Johnny Cash.
Oh mate, Johnny Cash.
So this hat, dude. So this hat is my Nana was a absolutely massive Johnny Cash fan. This is a hat that she got at his concert. And
no way.
Yeah, dude. And it even has where she saw it in 1991 in Detroit, Michigan. For when she had it. And when I moved out west, she gave me this hat and some other stuff. Hang on, I got another really cool piece of something. It's unbelievable. Hang on.
Holy shit. That's class. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Johnny Cash. This is Johnny Cash.
I'm going to do this and see if he notices.
What are you doing?
She gave me this box set. This is just some CDs, but
yeah,
that's not all. The best part of this box set is inside is an actual Polaroid picture that she took of Johnny Cash in 1969.
And there's no zoom. There's no zoom on a Polaroid
she's
camera.
front row, buddy.
So she's front row, man.
Like that is literally the picture she took of Johnny. Like,
she seems like a legend.
Dude, she was an absolute legend. And I think that I owe it to her, really, to where I get my passion for music because I remember when I spent a lot of time with her, me and my brother. My mom, like, she would take care of us a lot. And whenever we would go to her house, she would just have all of these old Elvis VHS tapes of like his concerts and stuff like that, and like old CCR concert tapes and Johnny Cash show and all this kind of stuff. And we would just watch stuff like that. Like that's what I grew up watching was Elvis and Johnny Cash and CCR.
Such good shit.
What's CCR?
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, sorry. Right. Okay. Got you.
Bro.
Bad Moon Rising. Yeah.
Yes, Susie Q, all that good stuff.
You like stuff like Crosby, Stills and Nash?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
What about Jackson Brown?
I don't know. I probably do.
Yeah.
What is
He has a song called Somebody's Baby. He also,
Jackson
these days,
Brown?
I really like that. Yeah.
Running on Empty? Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah,
They're all from a similar vein, right?
I had to Google him, or I had to throw him up on just to.
A lot of people know his
I
music.
I
for
find,
sure.
yeah, I'm one of these guys who, like, I enjoy music, but I never know who I'm listening to. Like, I'll find out the name of a band of a song that I love 15 years later. It's like, oh yeah, I know them.
Yeah.
I'm a movie guy.
Right.
Kev's the music and movie guy. And wrestling, like his wrestling knowledge. Is
I grew up on wrestling
ridiculous.
too.
Oh, mate, did you see
Oh,
John
yeah.
Cena's heel turn?
No,
Okay,
no.
I'm
See,
just
I
gonna-
lost touch
I'll
with
just
the
leave.
wrestling.
I'll just
yeah.
CJ,
I lost touch with like wrestle. Like I grew up, with Stone Cold and Mankind and and the Undertaker. Like those were my heroes,
man.
absolute
Hell
heroes.
yeah.
And then it just kind of died for me. Really, I got into music really, and that's kind of where that ended. I haven't touched wrestling in years and years and years and years. But a guy I know who he directed Hobo with a Shotgun. Have you seen that?
Rutger.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I watched that on a drunken night. Probably it must be 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
About that.
2011. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Jason Eisner, who directed that, have you seen The Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh, hell yeah, mate.
Dude, that's
Hell
Jason Eisner. That's the director
actually
of
him?
Hobo with a Shotgun.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure anyway. Like we kind of, I don't know how I met him one time in his hotel, smoked some weed with him. I can't remember why, but anyway. And at that time he was, I think that's the project he was. Dark Side of
The Dark Side of the
Yeah.
Ring. Like I'm not a wrestling guy at all, but I loved every episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Kevin recommended it to me.
Yeah.
And I've discovered that I don't like wrestling, but I love the behind the scenes bullshit.
Yeah.
And
It's a great show.
it
It got me
Yeah,
fired up.
it
It got me fired up again about the wrestling music, and that was kind of like it was almost like oh man, when I was a kid, like we had a trampoline, we would fucking wrestle, dude. We knew all the moves. We would go steal like street signs, and and we would battle, dude. But like coming back to the movie, when we were doing like the Viper song, it was like that was kind of like a thing. It was like I want this to be like his like wrestling intro music, where and that was definitely a thing when we were writing
mate, the
Fury
amount
of the
of-
Viper.
A lot of the time, I would just work out how to play some of these wrestling themes on guitar
Oh yeah,
because Jim Johnson, who is the composer of all your favorite wrestling themes, he
oh
said
really?
he was
There's like
always
one central composer who
for all the
shit?
best stuff. Yeah.
No
So
way.
he breaks down as well, like what you were saying. As a composer, he's like, well, if the character walked slow,
Yes.
then his music would have like a slow
Yeah.
cadence.
Yeah.
He's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He says, I needed a glass smashing, but when he recorded the glass smashing, he said it wasn't enough. So if you listen to that initial glass break, he got a car and drove it like fucking to another car, and it went. And
Really?
he added that with the glass.
Amazing.
So now you're going to hear that next time you listen. It actually
It
crashed
definitely
two
sounds
cars
like
together.
a car crash for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is excellent, eh? But Jim Johnston, like probably, I don't know why people don't like. He's up there for me with like John Williams and that. Jim Johnston is the soundtrack to your childhood. Undertaker, Mankind, Goldust, all of these amazing themes came from that guy's brain.
Again, even like again, never been into wrestling, but whenever I hear that bell, the Undertaker's dong,
The gong, we call it.
and like, sorry, it's a fucking gong. Of course, it's a gong, not a bell. But even as a non-wrestling fan, I would know that's
You know
the
what's about to
Undertaker's-
happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? Well, it's not
Someone's
funny. It's
gonna
kind of
die.
funny. See, I always find myself in the most of the strangest scenarios. But I remember we went to hospital with my son who'd kind of bumped his eyebrow, right? And we're sitting there in the waiting area, and there's kids' toys for obviously the kids area, but passing are people that are now coming into the hospital, right? And I remember picking up this wee keyboard and going, "Oh, excellent! I'm bored." And I started playing the Undertaker's theme song on the keyboard. And in walks like a guy who's obviously like, had a heart attack and his daughter crying, and they're walking past. So just for context,
So you're writing a soundtrack to their life live.
I'm like, she's greeting, walking past, and my wife's like, Kevin, that's so inappropriate. I was like, I didn't know she was about to walk in with him, right? I'm just playing a wrestling theme, fuck's sake.
Hilarious.
Kevin, you are the god of just putting yourself in situations.
Mate,
like that.
I'll tell you one more, right? Because I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast, right? But get this, right? I'll make it quite a fast story. I used to work in retail, and I was in the cafe area, and at the end of the night, we would get all the cakes and stuff that were not sold, and we would reduce them and put them next to the till. This is like the last hour of like trade, so it would be quite dead. So I'm bashing on, trying to get everything done so I can go home, and a man and women walk in, and they're like this, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, right. So I get to the till, and I'm like, hi, you all right? Like, yeah. And they've got a trifle and 2 coffees, and I'm like, oh, okay, right. I'm like, I was like, you both look a bit sad, and they're like, this, they're proper like, and I'm like, you guys all right? And they looked up at me, right? Yeah, we've just come from the hospital. Our daughter's just died, right? Pause. Quite a deep thing there, right?
Yes.
And I caught in the headlights, right? Straight away responded with, well, at least you've got a trifle to look forward to. Yeah, that was a rough one, because I walked away and went, "What the fuck did you just say?" But you know, I was caught off guard, right?
They're gonna remember that forever.
Right? Yeah. Thing is, who goes for a trifle and 2 coffees once your fucking child's just died? I don't get that one.
Well,
but
that's
hey,
a good
people
way
do
to cheer
crazy things.
yourself
Right?
up without some.
Wait, my
dickhead
point
reminding
exactly.
you.
My point exactly. I'm like, well,
Trying to make
it's-
light of
I
it,
think-
you know?
Is a trifle? I'm assuming a trifle is a very British thing. Like you guys,
Yeah, dude.
yeah. A trifle is like a layer of.
Oh, I see it here. I trust me. I googled it.
oh, you didn't know what a trifle was?
Hell no.
I forget. Hell no. Fuck that
I'm like,
shit.
yeah. I didn't know
like,
what that. It's like
earlier on
it's like a
when I had-
fruit. It's like a layered fruit with some whipped
I know,
cream.
a fruit flan. Is that what
Yeah.
you guys call it?
Fruit flan.
Flan.
Yeah, probably.
Do you have flan?
I don't know, dude.
I came on here to talk about movies and music and asking about fucking trifle. I don't
No, but I mean, that being said, I'm a huge foodie.
Yeah.
Love to cook, and
Oh man.
but I
same.
I'm not a my wife. My wife would be able to speak more to the dessert side of things. She's the
Ah.
one year,
Connoisseur.
like we always have trifle at Christmas, and one year my uncle makes the best trifle. Right, it's fucking superb. But one year he accidentally put salt in instead of sugar,
Ooh.
and everybody was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this trifle?" And my gran was like, "This is quite nice."
yeah,
What have you
No
done?
taste buds left.
yeah, no. Yeah, bless her.
I don't know, but I think that all of that salt might have just caused dementia.
Yeah,
There we go. But yeah, how the fuck did we got any trifle?
that's awesome.
No.
So, I had a question in mind that's gone. So what Kevin will do is he'll fill in until I can remember what the fuck I was going to say.
Unbelievable. So, you've made the soundtrack for the last video store, which clearly has lit a fire, right? It cannot and will not end there. I know for
No,
sure
I mean,
that we want to do some work together, but what?
yeah.
Where's the path going? Do you want to work? And by the way, I ask you this because I actually know so many filmmakers, and we have them on weekly, pretty much, that are always looking for guys like yourself. Is that what you really want to do, or do you want to create something and tour it? Do you want to go really heavy, mad, original, and get guest singers? Do you know what I mean? Like
I just honestly, man,
David Guetta.
I just want to make music. Like, so,
Yeah.
I've got a couple, local artists that I play with from time to time. He'll ask me to. He's like a acoustic guy, and he'll
Uh-huh.
like I'll play music with, like, play lead for him and stuff. But I mean, as far as performing, like, that's probably all that will ever happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm certainly not pursuing, like, starting to turn this into like a
You got a
oh, so
haunted house?
no, there was like I could see like the lights flashing behind me. I'm like, what is on the projector there? But I was like, where do I want to go? Like, I would love to do another movie, a short, like, anything. Yeah, it's lit a fire. I'm all set up. I'm rigged up. I'll take whatever kind of comes my way. And in the
Hell
meantime,
yeah.
I just kind of come and jam down here, really. Like, and if that's all it ever ends up being, and I've got this like amazing place to come and jam and just make my own music, then that's what I'll do. I finally got set up with my own Spotify account and all that, so that's really cool. So now there's a little bit more of like it's a space for me to be able to release music where people might see it, but like no one follows me, like, right? So like we're such a small, this movie, like, I don't have, a following or anything like that. It's like the only people who are finding me on Spotify are like people, who have maybe seen the movie, kind of thing. So, I mean, it takes a lot of work to like get like, a fan base and push music out, and like that's not really, I don't really care about that. I just want to work on music, and if there's a
Totally.
project that comes my way, and then at the end of it I can release that onto my, on my channels, like that's awesome. So I think first step is just getting in touch with folks like you, who potentially
Yeah.
have other projects going on, like
100%.
Cody's working on something right now, his next
But hey.
feature. And he wants me in there on the music, apparently, so that's really cool. So I mean, that's kind of, I just kind of wait for something else to come my way, and in the
Yeah.
meantime kind of stay sharp and explore different things and keep playing music, so that when the time strikes again, I can just kind of plug in and be like, okay, let's do this. And I'll probably be a little bit more ready for the next thing, because I don't have a massive learning curve now as far as like recording music. I'm kind of rigged up to go, so I'm just kind of patiently waiting for the next
Right.
project. Really,
Hey.
I don't know how else to.
I,
Our
you,
producer is trying to. He's like, "Oh, you should get in these circles and these circles and these circles," and it's just like, man, I don't know. I'm like super busy, and like I have a kid and my life, and like I
yeah.
have a career, and like I
Yeah.
would love for this to be my career, but like
hmm
um,
Mm.
it seems like a big
What is
task.
your other career? What do you do?
I do like creative services for. I'm the marketing director at some at a company, and
Right.
J-Mac, he answered this question on the last podcast that he
Yeah,
was
no, but
on.
some people might not have seen
hmm,
that, Kevin.
yeah. So
Oh,
I
nice comeback, here,
And
J-Mac.
I fucking forgot. Right, we
yeah.
do a lot of podcasts, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I do. I
Aye.
just do. I do freelance, video production stuff.
Yeah.
From time to time, I only have a couple of guys that I just kind of do their stuff every year. But other than that, yeah, just kind of creative services, like a lot of graphic design, web design, logo creation, and all types of, you know,
Fun
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, making
Fun stuff.
brochures and things. Like, I would definitely much rather be playing music or sound design, even sound design. Like,
Yeah.
I'm super passionate now about sound design. So what people might know is, or not know, is not just the music that I did for the last video store, but I did all the sound design.
Yeah.
So all the sound effects.
Which, by the way, is so important with a movie, especially an independent movie. It's the thing that can really show how cheap a film is how bad the sound can be. We've seen a lot of films that could be awesome, but the sound was really bad. And the last video store was not an example of that. The sound design was great, especially for a movie of that budget and the restraints that it was under. What?
I'll say it. Our award-winning short film had no real great sound design, and we won an award with that. So think about what it could be after Brandon's put his.
I'd love to, and I watched it. It's awesome, by the way.
You like it?
And
Oh,
yes,
class, man.
and yeah. So put me in touch with Seb.
Scott and Seb,
I think.
Yeah,
About the file transfer, because I would love to work on that. You know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's definitely the plan.
I did my re-recording yesterday morning.
Some ADR.
Yeah, I've never done it before. I hope it's all right. It might be shit, but we'll find out, and then I can get told what I have to do to improve it. But man,
I wish I could show you guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
so the fun that is there when you're making a short film with people that you love, is phenomenal.
Oh man, I know it more. You know what I mean, just as well as you do, because we spent 10 years making short films with our friends, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It can be very difficult at times. I don't know if you guys, it's all fun and roses when you make short films, but
most of the time,
when we made short films, it was not always.
No.
Oh no, man! Like it's yeah. It always ended up being worth it to us, but it was definitely not always easy.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I think we
not.
probably had there was probably moments or short periods of time, but you managed to iron that shit out and move on.
Literally, iron it out. Is that a spoiler, Jim? Fuck's sake, man. Do you know, by the way, Brandon,
Yeah.
I need to send you the alternate posters that Matthewman made.
For what?
For A Good Night's Sleep, or a short film. Because there's one where it's literally an iron, and it's like the Jaws poster.
Nice.
And it's J-Mac swimming in it. Oh,
Awesome.
I need to show you something.
I can see it now. Is there
You
blood
can see
dripping
it.
down the iron or no?
Yes,
There is.
I think there is, eh?
Yeah. Dude, that's
so
awesome.
fucking good.
That's awesome.
Matthewman's so good at that shit, which is too fucking good.
Yeah,
But,
he's
so
legendary.
we have a really cool concept coming up. I think I've sent you a wee bit about
Yes,
it.
yes.
And that's looking to be in the pipeline and looking to be doing. We're
So
actually
how
gonna get
long
someone-
is that one going to be you're aiming for?
Not long. The plan is to turn it into an actual feature.
Okay.
But right now the focus is on putting it there on a short film for conceptual reasons. But I want to get someone. But now that we've done this podcast for like 7 coming on 8 years, our contact
Wow.
book of like celebrities and stuff are pretty extensive. So I am going to reach out and get someone of really huge name to voice it, to do the voice of
awesome.
the main character, right? Which can be sent, which by the way, you could probably be hands on with that, getting the stems and whatnot. But we're going to do that, and that fee will cost us so much less because we just have not much lines. But then we get the name value of some of our friends that are like really, really doing well in Hollywood. So that's the plan. And then what happens if we do really well with what we think is going to be really good? Then we can get it greenlit for a feature, and then they can be in the film. Maybe we'll have enough to pay
That's
them.
how that works,
But
man. You make these
hell yeah.
connections. You make these connections through one way or another, and then when the time strikes,
100%.
like people usually, come to it. There was a lot of cameos in our movie, just from people who we'd worked with in the past, or Cody and Tim knew, and that's how these things kind of shake down.
Best way to
But
go.
I would
think
definitely
that's-
love to, help out with that project if I
100%.
can.
Yes.
Just by the that's just the pitch decks you're putting together. Like it's like, oh man, this is right in my
something
wheelhouse
else,
of an audio,
yeah.
sonically. I don't,
100%.
for
And
sure.
as well, like the director Scott really wants it to be like a proper mind fuck. So think about what you
Awesome.
could do. Think
Yeah.
about what you could. It's Pink Floyd.
And I
Go
want to
there.
go even more
Go
like
there,
I
you
want to
know?
start going a little bit more like experimental,
Hell
and
yeah.
less like so. The last video store is just very like nostalgic-y, right? Like a lot
100%.
of the the choices of synths that I used and stuff like that are just
Mm-hmm.
and then they're awesome and I love that. But I do want to get like a little bit more obscure, and but the movie didn't lend itself to that. It was more sort of like mainline of the the nostalgic kind of feel. But I definitely want to get a bit more. I want a project where I can get like dark and like weird and
Hell,
but
this is it.
still like have these moments of like still music.
Yeah.
Well,
This one should do that.
I already came up with an idea which would be phenomenal, and I think it can work. So one thing that the last video store didn't have on the soundtrack was, you know how like you'll get a song that represents the movie, and then usually the song, the DNA of that song will then leak into the score.
Yeah.
For example,
Yeah.
My Heart Will Go On. Right,
Yeah.
you hear it. Right, so I think I would really like to do that, and we have a couple. We know a lot of. Well, I know specifically quite a good few artists that are they're doing well. However, we worked with the Lost Boy, Billy Worth. You know
Yeah.
the Lost Boy
Yeah.
guy, and I think we were talking about doing another project there with some of the guys for the Lost Boys to create an actual song and have DNA from that.
In
But that's something you would be very instrumental in putting together. So essentially, you would direct
No
that.
pun intended.
But your thing is how it would work is we would be like, right, Brandon, here are your toys to play with. They all know what they need to do. So
Right.
let's, you know what I mean, put together what you see, and then how do we make this bigger? Yeah,
yeah.
which is I don't know if you've done that before.
No, and to touch on the like the driving theme in the music in a score, I totally no, I wanted that, but and there are like little bits that are like injected. It's obviously too subtle, but it's because each character had its own dramatic theme music. So that was like
Totally.
the main goal was just to each movie has to have its own kind of soundscape kind of thing. And when as that character comes in and out of the movie at times, like we go back to that kind of thing. But I know what you mean about having like a theme for
It's more so, maybe even so much. It's more so like a hit track. You know what I mean? Like if you go to when you put on a song that, so for example, Eye of the Tiger, right? People always liken that
associate
to
that
Rocky.
with exactly.
But if you've never seen Rocky, you probably still know that song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's for me that because I when I play music, like Cry Little Sister, good friend of ours, G Tom Mac wrote that for Lost Boys. Cry Little Sister is its own song, and all the way through that film, you hear the DNA of that song
Yeah.
as a score. You
Oh,
hear
it's like,
the
it's like
the
Jaws.
drum beat.
It's like any,
Yeah,
every
totally.
good score.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Totally.
that's what I'm excited. Like, I want the next project because I want
Yes.
to make a, like, the thing is like if you took any of the characters or any of the pieces that I made for each of like of these characters, if I could write the score for those movies, those
Yeah.
would be the themes that showed up. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
in and out of the whole movie, they would all follow these themes, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to incorporate the piano track to the Beaver Lake song was to
Hell yeah.
have that. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's the same. Oh, this is a familiar melody. You know what I mean? And to kind of have
100%.
exact yeah, but. It was just too difficult to do with this movie because there were so many different,
Do you
themes going on.
Do you find though, like, so when you're working with, of course, an ensemble of people, and you've got your vision, but your vision has to meet theirs, do you find that a challenge, or are you pretty much submissive? Where you're like, fair enough.
Well, I mean, yeah. The biggest challenge was like, so when you do a project like this, like the directors and the editors, like which is Cody and Tim, like they edit to music, right? Like these things are all laid out already. You know, they're using temp tracks of like movie scores and music that they like, that, you know, that they had inspiration when they were editing it, kind of thing, that I'm not a part of that. So like a lot of the stuff is already sort of like, and I think whoops, was it the music by John Williams? I'm pretty sure goes into this, and it was like when he started talking about this, it was like, oh my god, that's so true. Like the directors are married to these melodies that they've already conceived. So the hardest part is to create something that like still feels like that, but is like your own thing. Like
so
there wasn't a lot of like, I mean, for the title track, the one that sounds like Good, Bad, and the Ugly, like there was no, you know, it was like we just like think of Good, Bad, and the Ugly, like, and that was really, you know, it's like okay, so you kind of mess around and try and come up with something that kind of feels cool, but also has like the overarching sort of like instrument selection that the whole movie is going to use, not just, you know.
I thought. See for me, like see, there's your track that's very similar to Kids from the Stranger Things.
Yeah.
For me, that is like even when it's in Stranger Things, that to me is like friendship. When you hear that song, you're thinking about these characters and the love they share for each other. So when you hear that on the score, to me, it's like if you do something so excellent that a simple cluster of notes can convey an emotion, I think that's when you're really onto a winner. And I think that was a great choice to use to be inspired by that.
Yeah, a lot of
that's what it is.
And it was fitting for the movie too, because you know the whole thing's the power of friendship and all of that kind of stuff. They really wanted Cody was really into the, you know, Stranger Things soundtrack, obviously with the sound of the score, but it's I never really had too much like, you know, there was quite a bit of push and pull of, you know, I'm glad that they pushed me though. Like I would like create a track, you know. Some of the tracks that I made are like so like they still fit in the universe of the Last Video Store, like sonically, like the way that they sound. But yeah, there were things like when I was writing like the whole intro scene, I wanted it to go this like completely other direction. And you know, it was so tough to like
let it go.
Let it go, and because I'm like, I would sit and edit it and watch it and edit it and watch it and like write and watch it and write and watch it and then like present it to them. And I'm at that point now, I'm married to it, and you know, they're like, no, like, and it was really difficult communicating like what they wanted for some of these things, because at a certain point, the temp tracks just stopped coming, kind of thing. Like it was like, you know, there wasn't an onslaught, like this or like this or like this. It was like, you know, just describing like sounds, like just texting someone and just having them describe sounds of what they want is like so painful because like it's like I spent so many nights, man, down here just like experimenting and trying things, and it's just like,
do you think that there would be a like, there's obviously a major benefit to sitting in the room with the director while you're actually creating it? Do you think there would be a big benefit to that, as opposed to the director giving you instructions, then you say, okay, there's 9 hours of work, what do you think of that?
Yes, that's the thing too. It's like, so I had Tim come down and spend a few days at my house, and he was just with me in the studio making music with me. And it was for a lot of the he was with me when we did the like kind of Terminator style track, when, you know, after he falls through the vent and Kevin's like, he always comes back, and then it's just like a total Terminator kind of esque theme song. He was with me for all of that, and he was with me through a lot of like the Beaver Lake, the vent chase scene and all this stuff, and it was so beneficial to just have him there. And like, I had never written music with anybody before. So like that was so cool because I would just play a sound or something and be like, yeah, like that's cool. Try that, you know? And it was like I was getting direct feedback right from the source, right there. That was unbelievable. If I could do these things again, I would have multiple of those sessions. And and yeah, but it just didn't work out because they live in Vancouver and I'm in Alberta, and
Just for context, how far apart are those two cities?
it's like a 12-hour drive.
Fair enough.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I think the Skype though, like look at what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And imagine you were sitting composing exactly like what you did when we did.
That's the thing too. I mean, it's just something about being in the room with a
Of
guy.
course there is,
but
yeah.
but and at that time, like this would be so much better now that I'm rigged up and like I can literally feed
Yeah.
my entire studio, you know what I mean, into their headphones while I'm doing it. Like, man, that is like, I can't believe that we could do that. Like I did, and when this was being made, it's like I didn't nothing.
Yeah.
I would have to write something, spend hours doing it, export it, sync it up to the picture, export that, upload that to YouTube, send that to them, and then whenever they had a chance to watch it, it was like this whole
Yeah.
delay of like, you know, feedback, you know.
Yeah. No, it's
And
excellent.
And the anxiety waiting on the response. And
Oh yeah. But I knew when I had a banger, like I knew it was like, like, you know, like when I wrote the Viper theme song, or even like the training montage, like when I wrote I just want to, you guys can probably, I want to see if can you hear this, Brandon? I want to see if you guys be able to hear. Oh,
Yes.
could you hear that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Boucher. Like, this was like such a moment for me. Like when I have video. I have like, because I would send Cody like, I'll be like, I was so excited, and I would just set my phone up and just like have like maybe the drums and some of the synth there, and I would pick up my guitar and like play the melody or like the thing. And I have all of those videos of like when I was writing it, and yeah, like I knew I was on, like I knew it was something that I was gonna love and that the guys were gonna love. But where's this?
That's fucking epic.
It's just that's Viper in a nutshell. And I talked about so I was really into doing Viper stuff. Like that was like loved the 80s like guitar and all that kind of stuff, because there's no real guitar in a lot of the other stuff, and I was a guitar player first and foremost. So it was awesome to be able to do Viper stuff with guitar.
No, that's fucking excellent. And synth and guitar go well together when done right.
Oh,
You a fan of Gunship?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Huge inspiration for a lot of these tracks. Like I would listen to that kind of stuff like to and from work, and to get myself in these like sort of like neon headspace, you know. But yeah, absolutely.
They're fucking excellent. I've got a big poster of Gunship. I actually have met Dan and Alex from Gunship many times. They're in my favorite band ever. Like, so Gunship's obviously a side project for them, and they're phenomenal. I've got like every fucking release of theirs, cool merchandise and stuff. But they've worked with some really. Tim Capello is on quite a lot of their songs. John Carpenter himself is in there.
Yeah.
You fancy doing something like that?
Yeah.
Could you see yourself doing?
John Carpenter's
Gunship
like
type thing?
just, yeah, for sure.
He's in tech noir.
Yeah. They are like here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, like this is my jam, you know.
Yeah.
I just like aspire to make music like this.
It's Alex Westaway.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff and I'm just so happy that I was able to write things or like be a part of a project that like demanded some kind of like synthy music like that. I just feel super lucky.
No, it's fucking excellent, man. And I can't wait to actually work with you. J-Mac, you still there? Because your cameras went off. Nah, he's dead. Aye, so we've nearly taken up 2 hours of your time, Brandon. This isn't the second time. Sorry, this is the second time, but it shall not be the last time you come on the podcast.
Awesome.
We'll definitely get you back on soon, mate. I'm looking forward to rolling out everything. Maybe this week I'll get Seb and Scott on a call with you, and they can talk about the technical formalities. But we're definitely keen to
just some stems, and I would love to sit down to that and see what
100%.
maybe they'll like it. Maybe I'll take it.
Oh no, they will.
And they'll be like, oh. But
they're already aware of your music because I've already
Okay.
sent it to them and they're very much just awaiting me to be like, hey, he said yes, which
so
I've said to them.
want,
But
they don't want music, do they?
say again.
They don't want music, do they? They just want it just the sound effects.
Well, no. So for our already existing film, they would like it if you could do the sound design on that.
Right.
For our next film,
Oh,
they
okay,
would like
yeah.
you to
Music.
completely
Okay.
compose a fucking orgasmic fucking nightmare.
Oh,
So
sounds
That's a
sounds
very
awesome.
contrasting, concept.
It's-
an orgasmic nightmare.
not really when you think about it, because most of the time when you put a horror film on, it's a nightmare. And what do they have in them? Orgasms.
That's very true.
So it's exactly what you need. So yeah, we'll have a well, I would say busy, but it'll be fairly moderate. Good amount of time working together very soon. So that'll be
Yeah,
pretty
awesome.
epic.
Appreciate it.
Looking forward to seeing what you can create. Obviously know your capabilities and really looking forward to gelling, eh? So I am no date yet on when Last Video Store OST will be out.
So it'll be, I think around
Available.
June. I think around
Mhm.
June it'll be finished its final press. The first 100 will be around June.
And then
so-
once that's released, you can pretty much order it online from a store if they want a physical copy, right?
I don't know how I'm gonna work that out. But currently I'll work it out if people want to buy it. Like, I don't know how I will do that. I don't know even.
Bandcamp. You can do it on Bandcamp,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I've
what is
been
it we
told-
use? What is it we use?
Yeah,
there's
there's
a
ways
store.
around. There's
Oh, yeah.
ways, right? Like I could make it happen.
You just make a wee store on. I can't even mind Bandcamp. I think it is Bandcamp. You just make a store there. Put yourself a wee domain name on that, and then someone orders it, and you just send it from your house. They pay shipping.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I'll make it work.
That's pretty much the way of it. Aye. It's what
But
we do with our
that's
t-shirts.
the thing is like so it's like I'm gonna get the first 100 made, sell those locally, and if there's I don't know, but that's the thing is like, do I invest and go and physically buy and get another 100 made in hopes that people are gonna buy them online and then get stuck with 75? You know what I mean? It's expensive,
Yeah.
so it's
I
not
know,
like
yeah.
it's like I don't even know how I will do that, but if there's maybe because the next 100 that I make won't be as expensive because I'll have
Yeah.
paid all of the setup fees. So,
Yeah.
maybe it would be not so bad to, maybe it'd be like, oh, even if no one buys the second, set of 100, I'm
If
out
it was me, mate,
$1,000.
I would be reaching out to Arrow and saying, by the way, here's the
Right.
Last Video Store. Why not couple it with the soundtrack?
Well, and I think there might be some opportunity because we're still waiting for the Canadian distribution. So right
There you
now,
go.
only Arrow
Get in
has
there, mate.
released it, and we're expected to have the Canadian release in June, which includes it's this whole thing. They're doing it on VHS and like all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So
Well, by the way, just go to them and say, hey, I've already paid the setup fees, right?
Fair
Just
enough.
You
you
take
guys
it from here, guys. Eh?
yeah,
I know as a collector myself that if there's extras to go with a DVD,
right. You're in.
100%, 100%. Especially for that type of audience as well, the Last Video Store. They're into vinyl.
I
Come
know.
on, it's fucking
Yeah,
synth.
it's true.
Come on, man. So yeah, see what happens, eh? But it's amazing speaking to you tonight, mate. It's 11 o'clock here, So I'd say sorry for taking off most of your night, but it's still daytime over there, right? You go
Yeah.
at 3
Yep.
o'clock?
It's 5.
3
I
o'clock.
gotta go to a dinner, a
5.
little family dinner.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
enjoy that, my friend, and thanks again for coming on, mate. And we will catch up with you soon. I will keep you posted on everything moving forward, my friend. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And
Hey, it's been a
sorry, I
pleasure,
wasn't.
mate.
Sorry, I
Take it
wasn't
easy,
here for the
J-Mac.
first little while. But,
oh, that's
Ah,
okay,
you
buddy.
but yeah,
Just
thanks
love
for
it.
coming on, man.
Okay. All right, guys.
And we'll catch up with you soon, buddy. All right. Thanks again, Brian. Brandon. Cheers, B. Rye.
Brian.
Cheers, B. Rye. That was excellent. Excellent. I'm well fucking over my time, man. I've still got ironing today.
Damn.
But no, this has been class. And Brandon went to the effort of putting together all this setup. Last thing I wanted to do is, but that's an hour catch you later. So it's been class.
Yeah, I enjoyed that synth dialogue section as well.
100%. By the way, that's getting clipped. That was fucking brilliant. That was fucking excellent. And by the way, you need to do that. I'm going to send you just tracks. You're going to open up Audacity and you're going to do that shit, okay? And I'm going to scream at it.
Go for
100%.
it. Find one tonight before you go and do your iron. Find one tonight, and I'll send you something. I bit my cheek there. I don't know if you noticed. I'll send you something. I will send you something tonight before you go to bed.
Don't even do it on Audacity, mate. Just record it on your PC like you are right now.
Yeah.
Like this,
I'll figure
right?
it out.
And just speak into it, right? And change it. I'll give you a couple scenarios, right? And you just do this. You go like this. You go. Read out the scenario. Cat falls off a tree. Blah 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 blah. Here goes. And then do it, right? We'll post them online. I'll be belly laughing, mate. I was struggling, no screaming during that because I was like, he's playing such good music, but I was fucking howling. So that was excellent. By the way, next week, so we've had this tonight, movie soundtracks, and we will keep you all updated on when the vinyl will be available to buy physically. I know you all should do so. Definitely support independent, always, whether it's films, musicians, composers. Every little helps. Next weekend will be The Long Kiss Goodnight. Matthewman has been waiting for it forever, my man. That'll be pretty good to watch because I've heard it's amazing. You seen it already, J-Mac, or no?
I seen it when it first came out, so I have zero memory of it.
Class. So it'll be.
And I haven't watched it since. I've seen it once. I haven't watched it since. I was probably too young to appreciate it when it first came out. So. Yeah.
So it'll be good getting to that. Matthewman, when you pick up on this, if you want to come on and talk about this film that you love so much, jump on. If no, that's totally up to you, my friend. But you're very much invited.
Don't lie, it's up to his missus.
No, right. Jibber Jabber podcast is available every week, every Sunday at 9 p.m, unless it's a pre-record or Mother's Day or some shit like that. But we always let you know. Just keep up to date by checking out our social media. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere. Everywhere that you can log into, man. We're there. Even the places that I don't control. We're on like Stream FM and all this stuff. All these mad podcast pages that I don't contribute to at all or even know of its existence. We exist on all of them. Crazy. So if you follow any of them, if you exist on any of that, go and find us. But we are for this week at a time. Do you know what's funny? I heard a kid screaming the other day. Nards, if you're listening, I heard a kid screaming in the fucking Tesco yesterday. And he sounded a bit like that, and I'm sitting going, and my wife's like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Listen." Oh, we insider, man. We insider. Anyways, man, I'm fucking bursting. I've still got so much to do. So I will catch you guys next Sunday. Is it Sunday? Is it? Next Sunday. It is Sunday. That's how
it's always Sunday. It's always Sunday, man. Yeah.
Next Sunday at fucking 9 p.m. we will check out The Long Kiss Goodnight. J-Mac, anything you'd like to say before we fucking G.I. Joe?
No. Thanks for all that and listening and shit.
Absolutely.
I had a blast tonight, man. It was good fun. Again, sorry for my technical difficulties.
My
PC had to go through like a fucking 25-minute update before I could get on it. But not next week. Not next week. Also, I had to open StreamYard through another browser, and that's what actually solved it. That's what solved my problem.
Well, save that.
There you
go. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are fucking legends, as always. And we'll see you guys on the flippies.
See you next week.
Take it easy.
Thought I'd hijack this last part of the show. My name's Jedediah. I'll be on this show sometime in the next few weeks. Keep shit, goddamn teeth. I'll be on the show next time. Not next time. Sometime in the next few weeks. Keep an eye out for me. Shit. Gotta fix these fucking things. I'll be on here. Keep an eye out for me. I see you in the future or the past, motherfuckers.